calling out the left's double standard after an angry crowd of violent protesters, including an apparently deranged woman wearing a gorilla mask, of all things, threw an egg that nearly hit the candidate.
We're getting egg from behind.
You take your hands off me. Touch me again.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me again.
So far, there's been little outrage from the left, and the mainstream media is being accused of downplaying what happened with headlines that minimize the violence and make little mention of what seems to me, at least, the racist nature of the incident. Isn't that the headline? The racist nature of the incident? Larry Elder tearing into the silence.
The LA County Sheriff, Alex Villanueva, said that it was a hate crime. If I had been a Democrat, can you imagine what would have happened? It would have been talked about in Bangladesh. They would have called it an example of systemic racism. But because I have an R at the end of my name, the story did not get nearly the kind of coverage I think it otherwise would have gotten.
So what do you think of that, Tyrus? They're so quick to call anything racist, and there's a clearly racist crazy lady.
Well,
and
that's where with you know how much I respect you, and I disagree. Don't call her deranged. Don't call her crazy. Don't give her that out. Right. She knew exactly what she was doing. The only thing she didn't do was practice throwing things with the mask on. Okay? That was the only thing that she didn't, that's the only thing she didn't do. Bottom line, this was 100% racist. It was a hate crime, but because the left has pitched him as an Uncle Tom, anyone who wants small government and fiscal responsibility can't possibly be black. And this is what a lot of brothers and sisters out there, I'm always like, Democrats only want to support you when you're with them. It's not racist when you're against them. It's literally laughable. We don't know who this person's name is. If that would have been during the previous administration, all his questions after that speech he gave yesterday would have been his thoughts on what happened there and how did he condemn this attack. But they don't, because it's not important. There was one on CNN where literally it was dismissed. She's like, oh yeah, another news. Like, this is what happens. They're not really concerned with racism unless it's used to support what's going on there. You don't have to like Larry. I'm not a big fan. He talks too fast for me. I'm just being real. I'm former California. I wouldn't vote for Larry. I like Caitlyn Jenner's policies better. But he has every right to run. He has every right to say what speak his mind, and he shouldn't be attacked like that.
I like Larry, and in fact, if he beats Gavin Newsom could take over the Relief Factor commercials.
Oh, I'm going for that. Yeah, I'm sore after wrestling.
The polls, though, seriously, Dana, look like Gavin Newsom's going to walk.
Well, yeah, I mean, recalls are very difficult, and I think that Gavin Newsom, if he does win, he comes out stronger. And the Democrats need a new generation of leaders, and I think he would be in a pretty strong position as the governor of California to be able to do that. I would point out that during this campaign, Governor Newsom has spent a lot of time saying that Larry Elder is a black white supremacist. And I think the question should be asked to him, like, do you think that's okay? And does saying things like that about opponents, no matter if they're black, white, doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, it's wrong. And leaders need to be the role models, and in this case, that didn't happen.
Do you think, Katie, that too much was made of Newsom's peril, that it was never that close?
Well, I think it's really important to pay attention to the reason why he's being recalled. And if you look at the data, I mean, Democrats are registered 2-1 against Republicans in California. So it's just a tough uphill battle. But the idea that this many people in California got organized and were successful in even getting enough signatures for a recall petition is a success in itself in a place where Democrats outnumber Republicans. But I do want to talk about this incident. It's amazing to watch how much media oxygen was given to Jussie Smollett when he made up a hate crime. Bubba Wallace, when he had a pulley in his garage, how much the FBI investigated that. Nick Sandmann's life was destroyed for a very long time by the media. They accused him of racism, and he wasn't engaged in racism. And now you have silence from the media. And in fact, the media in California, the LA Times, when they wrote that headline saying that Larry Elder left a homeless encampment after an incident, they used a photo of Larry Elder making it look like he hit a woman. They implied in the photo that he was the reason why he had to leave the homeless encampment, not that he got attacked. So the double standard is there, but the good news is Larry Elder has been fighting against this his entire life, which is why he was ready to run for governor of California.
What do you like about Caitlyn Jenner more than Larry Elder?
I never said that, but I would agree that he does talk quickly. But that's not what I based my vote on. I based it on looks. You were saying in the green room, Geraldo, you thought the gorilla mask person threw like a girl. I think that was sexist for you to say. I say she, more throws like a liberal.
She threw like Fauci.
She throws like Fauci. She actually throws better than Fauci.
Yeah, that's true.
But notice this has not been covered on CNN. As of yesterday, Washington Post never picked this up. Newsom has not even condemned it. Kamala Harris, has she said anything? Water's World, Geraldo, asked for statements of condemnation from all these players, and we've heard crickets. But if this had happened to Maxine Waters, 1T, no relation, this would have been everywhere. As he said, it would have been in Bangladesh. And this is how you rig an election in California, Geraldo.
Recall elections.
This is how you rig an election.
Recall elections are dumb.
You don't report negative stuff that comes from the left-wing precincts like this, and at the same time, you just slander the Republican opposition with racial attacks. Black, white supremacists? What does that even mean?
I'm kidding.
I've got to write down with a little diagram. Yeah, right, a little diagram. But you're right. It is all our cubbies. It's our whatever team you're on. Do anything you can, regardless of morality, as long as it suits your team. I'm really sick of politics. And recall elections are dumb. Just dumb.
Okay.
Ahead, as America vows never to forget.